cut in and out a little bit again there. I've no idea what's going on because, as you said, it worked perfectly on Monday. So, oh, fingers crossed. And I wonder actually, Bex, do you want to just take my mobile number 203-310 and maybe drop me a text so I've got yours just in case it all goes wrong? Because yeah, I'm quite worried that it just feels a bit strange today. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's, I don't know, gremlins. Okay, hi everyone, welcome. And I'm going to share my screen now. I guess some of you were here on Monday. So there's a few slides which are similar because obviously kind of a lot of similarities in terms of it's all social media marketing. But hopefully there's quite a lot of different stuff as well to keep you engaged. And I'll be hopping into the app quite a lot today as well, so it'll be a bit more practical. So I'm a little bit stressed because all my internet went wrong. Sorry, just trying to calm down a little bit. I'll maybe put some calm stuff on my pulse points. So yeah, this is me. Again, sorry if you heard this the other day. I was a music teacher for 11 years here and in Scotland. And then I went into projects in the oil and gas industry in Aberdeen, which was great times. Then I came back here as an executive assistant, and then I was made redundant from that. It was a little startup, and my baby was just little. Oh gosh, it was a bit of a nightmare. So I did this course, this digital mums course, which is still one of the best social media marketing courses you can do. It's immersive, 6 months, and I ran platforms. And actually, you'll see my Instagram today was actually the original account from when I did my digital mums training. And I'll tell you a little bit how I've tried to convert that to a business account and how it didn't really work. So I'll go into that later. So once I'd done that, I founded my business, Man Social. Quickly realized that Facebook and social media in general is kind of pay to play if you want to grow and reach big audiences. It's different for smaller businesses, but if you want to, reach lots of people in the UK, it's definitely pay to play these days. So I did a Facebook advertising 6 months course as well, and that's Instagram and Facebook advertising because it's the same platform. So that's me, and now I help entrepreneurs and SMEs generate more leads through leveraging the power of social media. Oh, great to meet you. I missed the hangout. Did I do that the other day? What you all do, I haven't got time to, we can't unmute everybody, but if you can just quickly drop into the chat what you guys all do, so I've got an idea of who is here, who we've got here, so that hopefully I can make things a little bit, oh, is it all running okay? Seems okay. Oh, good. Coaching and HR consultancy, legal, ladies boutique, photographer, musician. Oh, I'm a musician too. Virtual, oh, hi, June. Gosh, it's going so fast. Recruitment, local artist. Fanadery's here. Hello, Fanadery. St. John's. Oh, yeah, hi again. I need to talk to you about hot desking, actually, St. John's Mill, because I'm going to put my little boy to school in St. John's soon. Small gym, retail marketing. With little ones now, beauty therapy. Right, we've got a real mix on here today. Brilliant. Cafe, Mangrove Cafe. Oh, where's that? Oh, Debs is back. Hi, Debs. Okay, brilliant. It's lovely to meet you all. Hopefully you'll be able to get something relevant out of here. As you'll know from the other day, I'm super scared about security. There is so much hacking going on. It's crazy. And Instagram and Facebook, if you've got them linked, there's holes in from both sides. So please make sure that you've got your two-factor authentication set up for your Instagram account. And that can make it tricky if you've got a few different admins on there, because they'll have to work out how to get the access, but it's certainly worthwhile doing. And also two-factor authentication for your personal Facebook profile as well, because that's how people get in. And if you've got anything in Business Manager and Facebook, again, make sure that's secure as well. So that's the first thing. Right. Let's have a think about Instagram's core values. Community first, so similar to Facebook, in that they're all about building communities. Inspiring creativity, so they really want you to be inspired and to get creative on their platform. And simplicity, now that's a really interesting one, because I've seen all sorts of complicated things, people try and do all sorts of complicated things with Instagram, but actually the simple things work. And also don't forget that people are really time poor. So trying to get people to do follow here and follow there and do this and do that, it's not going to work in these days of time poor. So simplicity is really key to Instagram. So a few numbers. It's the 6th most visited website, which is crazy because it's an app. It's a phone app, isn't it, really, before it's a website? It's not really a website, but it's still the 6th most visited website globally. Over 1 billion users each month. Average user spends around 30 minutes each day. I spent about 2 hours. That's the worst thing with Instagram, and you need to put some controls in place because you get absolutely lost because it's so beautiful. You just get lost in the beauty and go off down rabbit holes and, oh, who's that? And who's that? And off you go, and you've lost 2 hours. So yeah, be careful with that. 81% of people use Instagram to research products and services. That's interesting, isn't it? 500 million people use stories every day. That's the stories are the portrait things. We'll look at those. They're at the top. And 50% of users use the explore feature every month. The explore feature is kind of, it's the holy grail if you can get featured in there. So they used to do hashtag features. I don't really try and get featured so much anymore because it got really hard, but there's all sorts of reasons you can get featured in there. So we'll have a look at that later. And the demographic, and this is the UK, but yeah, majority 24 to 34-year-olds. That's where most of the users are. But further up here too, and mums, there are a lot of mums on Instagram. So if that's your demographic, then you'll definitely have success. So it's quite interesting that, isn't it? Okay, key things to consider. So who is your ideal client? I talked about this a lot on Monday. It's really hard to make yourself do the work on this because the easiest thing to do is pick up the phone and meet one of your ideal clients or have a chat with them on the phone, buy them a coffee and really get into the guts of who they are, what do they love, and what do they love seeing on social media. Because if you can get that information, then you're halfway there. But it's just taking the steps to do that, isn't it? But if you can do that, I can't tell you how powerful it'll be. And that'll be the same for all your marketing, but particularly on social. Customer journey, where do you want people to go? So I hope you've got a plan. So there's no point just kind of being there. Like have a plan. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to achieve? How do people buy from you at the moment? Do they already use Instagram to come and find you, or do you think that's a new thing you want to explore? But what do you want them to do next? How do you currently get your sales? Is Instagram going to feature in that? I really recommend you invest in some photography, unless you're brilliant or pretty good on the iPhone or you're a photographer or whatever. Just because if you want people to take your business seriously, the more, I'm not saying you need a big polished brand, okay? Of course, bigger companies, corporate companies, they're going to want that. You don't have to have it. You don't have to have it. But for me, it's been brilliant. I got a brand shoot of me with to get a really nice brand photo. That's the one you just saw on the picture. That was one photo I got taken about 2 years ago. And it was quite expensive because it was lovely Shan Fisher, who's wonderful, of course, if you know her. And that one photo, I've used it everywhere and it's a brilliant quality, and off I go and use it. And then I've also got another photographer that I use really regularly, and she does packages now, I think, Lena, and I always forget the name of her business. I think it's TD Designs, I think, but she's brilliant. And she does like a little package, and I just get her to take a bunch of photos of me every sort of few months. And then I've got so much content to share across my profile that's good quality. And I don't just use it on my Instagram. Actually, I don't really use my Instagram for business in the same way, which I'll show you soon. But for you guys, you can use it on your Instagram, you can use it on your website, you can use it on your Facebook, and it doesn't cost the world. It's a really good investment to make, I would suggest. And invest in quality content as well. So like if you can get maybe just invest, either you take the time and invest the time to just really think about some good quality content. It's not quantity, it's the quality. Because then if you've got a great blog or a great long form video, then you can break that down into lots of snippets of information. And then you've also got somewhere to send people off to a website or something if you need to. So do consider that as well, as some things to consider. It might not fit for your business, your brand, but just something to consider. And actually what I didn't put in here is another thing that's good for Instagram is graphics. So like, you see them like quotes and things like that, and I'll come to that later. But I would say if you can do any of those things, it would be really good. So let's have a think about what makes Instagram tick. Now, this is a really similar list if you were on Monday. It's really similar. Again, it's engagement. If you can get engagement, then that is going to get you more reach. So it's tapping into how you can get people to engage with you. I'm just going to put my phone on a second just to make sure. I'm just going to check the chat because I just want to make sure you can all hear me. Connection seems okay, but sound drops to Dalek. Oh, does it? Oh no. Okay for you. Okay. Okay, Bex, if you just jump in and start talking, if I go really Dalek-y or something bad happens, then I'll just know that it's all okay. Okay, so on the feed, you're looking for likes, you're looking for comments. Just before I go on, we've got the feed on Instagram. Now that is the grid. So that is when you go onto Instagram, you press the plus button, and it started with the square photos. It's what we started with Instagram. That's the grid, that's the feed, that when I talk about the feed. So you've got likes, you've got comments, you've got post saves. If people are saving your posts, that's a really good indication to the algorithm that people find your content valuable in some way. Scrolls through a carousel. Now I put a little star there, little asterisks, because if you can get people scrolling through, then that's really good. That's working really well at the moment. Excuse me, my nose is just running. Oh my gosh, I'm having a bit of a nightmare today, aren't I? Oh my goodness. Okay. Yes, if you can use carousel, that's working quite nicely. So you could do that with a bunch of photographs, or you could do that with going back to, if you've got a blog, you can break that down into little bits. You could do 5 tips from this, and you can have a graphic that you've made in Canva, which I'll come to, or get a graphic designer to do it, whatever you want to do. So post 1 and then make people go to the right, post 2, post 3, and they're scrolling through and they want to see more because you've offered them a list. You said 5 things to help you do this, and they want to see all those 5 things. So if you can get people interacting with a carousel, that's doing really well at the moment. Another thing that I've not got on here that is doing really well is Reels. Now, I don't have Reels, and I don't think the Isle of Man has Reels, but I'd be very, very interested to hear if anybody here has got Reels. And I wonder, if you do have it, is it because you set up your account in the UK initially or somewhere else initially? But yeah, most people, from what I understand, don't have Reels here. However, the algorithm is pushing them like crazy. So I'm sure some of you know Alison Tia. She's on a bit of a mission with Facebook and Instagram to get a few things sorted out for the Isle of Man. So Reels being one, tagging, shopping tagging on Instagram, and setting up the shop properly in Facebook, because it doesn't all kind of work properly at the moment. So hopefully we'll get that fixed, because that is a real pain, because if we can get access to that, then obviously it opens up the globe, doesn't it, for us in terms of Instagram. But yeah, I'll have a look in a minute to see if in the chat to see if anyone's got Reels. Tagging, so if people are tagging people in the comments, so that's a really good thing in the competition. I'll come to that later. Post clicks, video views, post shares to stories. I'll show you how to do that. If all of that stuff is happening, the algorithm is seeing great stuff, then it's going to give your posts more reach. Now in stories, what the algorithm loves is people interacting with the little features. There are so many features, and you should definitely experiment and use them. Don't spend too much time thinking, am I doing this right? Oh, shall I do this? Shall I do this right? Don't worry about that. Just go and have an experiment. Just go and test and see, first of all, what do you enjoy doing? What do you get the joy from? But secondly, what's getting you results? And actually, it's one of the best market research tools out there. Because one, you're getting answers from your, maybe you could say, ask me anything, and then they'll come up with questions about your products or your services, and then you can answer those questions in your future content. So you can start to hop on and go live and say, oh, I'm asking anything this week. I'm going to get a bunch of replies. I'm going to come on Tuesday afternoon at 3 o'clock and answer all the questions live, or something like that. Do you know what I mean? You can start to really sort of have this back and forth, which is really powerful. I know all of this takes time, so you have to consider how much time you've got versus what you enjoy versus what's going to bring you sales as well. Okay, but yeah, interaction with the engagement tools and watching the whole thing without tapping right to go on to the next story. They're all good things. So that's what to aim for. Now, a really good question to ask yourself is, would you follow yourself on Instagram? So think about the accounts that you follow, think about why you follow them. would you follow your business account on Instagram? If the answer is no, then you need to have a bit of a rethink, because if you're not even going to bother, if you wouldn't follow it, then why can you expect other people to follow it? So me and Orla said, I saw that yesterday on her feed. She's an Instagram influencer, and she's got a beautiful account, actually, really lovely. She kind of embraces what Instagram was all about originally, I think. Okay, Instagram is so much more than people think it is. I think maybe you guys already know. First of all, before I go into this, you're going to be better with a business account. So when you first set up your account on Instagram, it's a personal profile. You can switch it to a business account, and I'll show you how to do that if any of you need to know. But yeah, there's so many different elements to it. So your profile, link in bio, that's the web link that everyone talks about. You only get one here, and contact details. And you can't share links in posts. So that's why that link in bio is very, very important on Instagram. Grid, that's the 9 grid that you see, that the original posting, the feed that I was just talking about. You've got the stories. Now these sit at the top, and they're the little round circles at the top. You've got IGTV. So if you do a video that's longer than 15 seconds, that's automatically going to need to go into IGTV. So that's a separate app, but also you can access it within this app. You've got highlights, and these are little round circles that sit above your feed, above your grid, and they are basically stories that are now being reused, repurposed, and always ever present above your grid. You've got guides, which are new. Now I saw Tash is here. Tash, you need to look at guides for visit, because I think I'm very excited about guides. And guides, you can basically pull a bunch of posts into one sort of ream of posts, and you can get them from other places too, from other accounts, and then you can share those regularly in your stories and send them back. So I'll show you all this in the app in a minute. I'm very excited about guides. I think they're great. Tagged tab, so I'll show you this in a minute. You'll probably know what I mean, but if you're ever tagged by other people, then when you click on that little icon, you'll get to see all of those too. Hashtag strategy is not crazy the most important thing in the world, but it does help, and I'll show you why. Community engagement is really important. This is definitely not a place where you can come and broadcast and then go again. You've got to hang around. You've got to go and share some love, go and comment on other people's when you post. Around, they used to call it the golden half an hour. Now I don't think anyone's got half an hour to sit and engage on Instagram when they post, but it does help. So again, that's a time investment, but community engagement, and that's replying to people who reply to your comments, but also going off and finding influencer accounts. I'm talking organic influencers, not paid influencers, but just sort of organic ones, and go and engage on their account, and go and like some friends' accounts and some community business accounts that you want to be connected with. When you post, that's going to help you. That's influencer engagement too. You can obviously also pay influencers. I don't really get into influencer marketing, but it can be really powerful, but you've got to be careful because there's a lot of money wasters out there. So just be very careful if you do get into that. Promoting posts is another thing you can do. And when you promote a post, you get 3 options, which is, I'll show you what they look like. And Instagram ads, which are set up in a separate platform in Facebook Ads Manager, but they are super powerful. I'll come to that at the end. So loads and loads of elements to Instagram marketing. Do not get overwhelmed. You've just got to make a start, and hopefully I'm going to show you some simple ideas to do that today. And also, when I show you all these ideas, don't go and think, oh my gosh, I've got to do all of these things to make it successful. No, you absolutely don't. You need to take one step at a time and choose one thing each week that you can try, and think, okay, right, I think this feels like I could have a go at this. I'm going to have a go at this week. Don't feel like you've got to do all of this at once to be successful, because don't forget, some little things might be successful for your business, other things will be successful for other businesses. It might be that stories don't align with what you need to do. It might be that going live doesn't really work for you. It might be you can't really create lots of video content. Whatever it is, you've got to just try what you can do, and take the advice and see what works for you. But don't be overwhelmed. Please don't be overwhelmed. So the first thing we need to do is set up your profile for success, because just like with Facebook, when you're in and around and you're engaging, and or maybe someone discovers your post because you've shared a particular hashtag, or maybe somebody's been talking about your account. And don't forget, actually, especially in the Isle of Man, word of mouth marketing is still really the thing that you want to master, isn't it? So if you've got a great Instagram account on your profile, really screams out to people when they come and land on your profile, and they go, oh, I love the look of this, I want to hang out here. That's what you're aiming for. So get your bio really clear, how you help or the value that you add. Social proof, so if you've been featured anywhere, if you've won awards, I would get that into there. And you can just use emojis to list if you want to kind of keep the characters small, characters low. Profile photo, try and keep that consistent across platforms. That goes for the @ name as well, your handle. So if you can get that consistent across platforms, that's going to be more powerful for you. And your brand photo, that could be like a logo if you're a business, or a headshot if you're a personal brand, or a product that you're known for. Complete your details. So the CTA button, that's the call to action button. Add that if it's appropriate, if it works for you. Website links, you just get one. You can send them directly to your website, or I use Linktree. Now, the jury is out on whether that is a good thing to use or not, but I'll show you what it is. Some people say don't use it, the algorithm doesn't like it. Some people say it works really well. You've got to test it and see if it works for your business. Make sure your contact details are in there. And then your content. So again, when people first land on your profile for the very first time, they're going to make a call on whether they want to hang out and follow you or not. And if your content doesn't really speak to your ideal client, then they're not going to follow you. They're not going to hang around. So make people compelled to follow. And on Instagram, aim for a consistent feel. So like if you mainly do photographs, make sure you're using a similar filter every time. If you're doing more graphics, make sure that they're branded and it's, you're really getting, so using the same colors every time, using the same fonts every time, and mix of fonts and whatever it is that that your brand is. And if you haven't had a professional brand development done, and I highly recommend you do, by the way, I didn't get it done straight away. I did it about I've just done it recently, and it really is so powerful. So I recommend when you've been in it for a couple of years to do that. But you can do it yourself, stick to, just go for consistent branding colors and whatever that looks like for you. And then another few starter tips. So we can create creative, high quality content with a consistent feel is definitely going to work best. So people are looking for a sort of more aspirational beauty on Instagram more so than the other platforms. So how can you make that work for your business? Oh, someone just coming on? Oh no, it's okay. So mind map some creative ideas. So get creative with videos, slow motion on your phone or time lapse. Illustrations work really well. Infographics can work quite well. Experiment with some tools. So I'll hop into Mojo if we've got time. That's a great tool. I absolutely love it. It can make your photos look quite like the things that you do quite professional. Canva, I'm going to show you very briefly. And just go and experiment, really experiment with the filters on the grid, with stories, all of these engagement and tools. So I would say, if you're kind of just starting out, just go for it. Just go and do some brainstorming. Find somebody to brainstorm with if you can. If you can get a creative, that's going to be much better. And just go and start experimenting. Even if you don't do anything else that I'm going to tell you today, try and do some of these things, okay? I'm just going to hop into the questions. Oh. Please explain carousel again. Okay, so carousel is when you put more than one photo onto Instagram. So you usually just upload one photo, but you can actually upload 4, 5, 6. There's probably a limit. I'm not quite sure what the limit is. And when on Instagram, when you do that, it means you can just scroll to the right and scroll through them. So that would be a carousel on Instagram. Reels, Jessica. So Reels, to be quite honest, because we haven't got them, I don't know exactly what it looks like, but it's all these cool videos that you're seeing. It's Instagram's answer to TikTok. And it's, all these, you've probably seen a bit of a different vibe recently, sort of the last sort of 4 months they've been out now. You can just do really cool stuff with them. I'll try and find a good account that uses Reels and send it to you later. I'm just looking through what other questions. Would a good question not be why rather than would? I'm not sure what you mean there, Darren. Oh, offer of help, no need to read out. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's great. So, Darren, I'm not sure if you need, I'm not quite sure if you need to read that out now. I'll let Bex cover that one off. Okay, and let's see, is there any in the Q&A? No, not today. Good. Okay, so let's take a quick look at Canva before we do anything else, because I've mentioned Canva quite a few times now. Now I am not, oh, how do I get out of this? Oh, there we go. Put that down here. I'm not a graphic designer, and I still think there is a massive place for those people because they are so talented. But this is a sort of easy tool to use if you're not a graphic designer to get some quick content on your pages. And basically they have templates for everything. So Instagram, presentations, my presentation that I'm doing today was built in Canva. Proposals, Instagram stories, logos, posters, A4 documents. So if I wanted to do an Instagram post, I would just put here, Instagram post. You could do reels in here, you could do Instagram story. This, I mean, it's crazy. The amount of templates is crazy. So let's just click into this, and you've got a bunch of templates you can use. We'll just go into it here. So let's just use, if you wanted a quote template, you just type quote into here and you get a bunch of quote templates. Let's use this one, and you can add your branding. So because they've kind of done the hard work for you, I tend not to touch it too much. I just kind of leave it as it is, but swap it up with my branding. So if I click here, then if you can just see here, the little block of color, I click on that and it allows me to choose my colors. I go in here, choose that color. Oh, that doesn't look very good. Oh, it must have some weird filter on. Yeah. You change this to here, test, to say whatever you want. You change that to your, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I could talk for hours on Canva. To your branding, change that. Put a photo of me in. So I've not got a photo. Well, there probably is one, but pretend that's a photo of me. I just drag it and drop it. And you can see quite quickly, suddenly that's in my branding. So I highly recommend you do that and have a play with Canva. You can also do, they've got a template for everything. So if you want to do stories, you can do Instagram stories templates. They've got a bunch of those. So it's really worth having a play with this. It just kind of will up your game a little bit in terms of your presence on Instagram. So that's Canva. Now, okay. So be strategic with your posting. Post for purpose with a strategic goal in mind. So first of all, before you get going, you need to really define what your business objectives are. Get really clear on those because they are going to inform your Instagram objectives. And then define your Instagram objectives. So I'm just going to move this up here. Is it to build awareness? Is it to build an engaged audience? Is it to encourage more user-generated content? That's a really powerful thing to do. If you can get people creating user-generated content and share that, that is a brilliant marketing tip to tap into for social media, because people start to want to be featured. It's like that's their goal, and so they start to do all really clever stuff with your product. If you're e-com, if you're selling products or whatever, off bricks and mortar even, you know, if people can start to do that and then get their content shared, that's what people want to feel important, don't they? They want to be, yeah. So if you can tap into that, it's really powerful because they're doing your marketing for you. Market research, the encouraging engagement tools. improve engagement, build relationships, build your list, drive more online traffic or offline traffic, generate conversions, sell tickets, improve, I don't know what that says, customer relations, because it's brilliant for that as well, conversations. So all of those things, have a think about what you want to do first. I would just choose 1 to 3, whatever you can cope with. Don't choose all of them at once because it's just too much. You need to just focus and then have a think, okay, do that for 3 months or so, a quarter, and then revisit and think, okay, look, what worked, what didn't work, what do we want to focus on for the next 3 months? It might be the same thing, it might be something different. Define your ideal client. I can't stress that enough. And picture that person. You might have 2 or 3. Picture whichever one it is every single time you post. Imagine that you're talking directly to them. That's the powerful thing. The better you know your ideal client, the more successful you have. I cannot stress that enough. Picture them every time you post and speak directly to them. So let's have a look at what works. So on the feed, and after this slide, I'm going to hop over to Instagram and just show you a few things. So you can consider a grid plan. So that's when you kind of plan out. You sometimes see checkerboards. So you might see photo, graphic, you know, so it's like a checkerboard. You might see that, or you might get a grid pattern developed. I tried that for a while. The only thing with that is you can lose a bit of spontaneity because you're so fixed on getting your grid and following that and making sure you don't go away from that you kind of lose that. If it's something really trending that you want to get out there, or something great happened, or you know, you saw something, or some great user generated content came in, whatever, you kind of, it's tricky to be flexible. So it might not work, but you can try it. Great quality photos, aim for consistency of filter, graphics which stand out and stop the scroll. That's what you want to do. We had a stat the other day that people scroll 300 feet on average in a day, which is the same height as the Statue of Liberty. They're scrolling that. So you need to stand out, you need to stop the scroll. Carousels seem to do better, that I was talking about before. And when you do a carousel, try and encourage people to turn right, to scroll right. So whether that's with your caption, to tell them, go and check out our 5, whatever, or whether it's writing on the actual graphic. Videos work really well, 15 seconds on the grid, or you can add it to IGTV and then it previews. I'll show you that. First 2 lines of copy need to draw people in to click more. So I don't like clickbait, but sometimes you need to do it, especially on Instagram, because you want people to click more. If you do clickbait and then you deliver value with whatever it is you're saying, maybe you're telling people how to use your product in a great way, or maybe you're recommending something, or you're giving people a great tip or sharing a great recipe, whatever it is for your business, then they don't mind the clickbait. But if you do clickbait and then they read it and it's a load of nonsense, they probably won't click on it again. They'll be like, oh, that was rubbish last time, I'm not going to bother. So don't, you know, really think about that. Don't forget your 1 clear call to action. Don't have 3 calls to action. Have 1 clear thing that you want people to do from that post, that one post. What do you want them to do? You can use up to 30 hashtags. I tend to use about 10. Add an appropriate location. Now, this doesn't have to be where you are. So it might be the Isle of Man, or it might be that you want to get, because in the explore section, it features locations. So it might be that you want to be featured in London for some reason, or another particular place for whatever reason. Maybe it's an event that's taking place that you want to tap into that market for that day. If you're doing e-com further afield than the Isle of Man, you can use another location. You don't have to use the one that is here. Tag photos if it's appropriate. So you can tap on the photo and you can tag an account. As I said the other day, don't be too spammy with that. Like, don't do it all the time because you'll really annoy the people. If you want to stay on their right side, it's probably a way to annoy them. So be careful, don't do it too often. And only do it if you think it's really worthwhile. And at mention, the same thing goes for there. You can at mention accounts in the copy, in the writing that goes with the post. And then engage and add value on other posts around the time that you post. So when I'm doing this for a client, I would lay aside about 20 minutes. I would go on, I would be engaging with organic influencer accounts. So if I was a self-catering holiday let in the Isle of Man, I would definitely be engaging on Visit Isle of Man, maybe Isle of Insta, maybe Discover Isle of Man. They've got quite a lot of followers now. If you can sometimes banter, So visit Scotland or visit Wales, for example, you know, if they ever, if you can think of a clever way to go on there, this is when obviously the borders are closed at the moment, but I'm talking about when life is normal, and you're trying to reach people in the UK because you want them to know about your cottage in the Isle of Man, then going onto those pages and adding something of value. So you have to think what that could be. Maybe it's a funny comment or whatever. Then that's going to encourage people to tap on your name and go, oh, who's this? They'll tap on your name, they'll come back to your account, and they'll see that you've just done a post. And if they like your post, they'll like your post, and as in tap like. And then that's the more likes you can get, the more reach you'll get. So do you understand the concept behind going out and engaging to encourage engagement on your own post? And that's a really powerful thing to do. And it's got to be a mixture of organic influencers and people that you know engage with you for whatever reason. Maybe they love your cottage already, so you've got a list of those people. You can go and engage on their accounts and just kind of get back into their mind, if you like. So they go, oh, I wonder if they've posted recently, and they'll come back over and they'll like your post. So it's kind of almost like a tap on the shoulder in a way when you go and engage if they happen to be online. I hope that makes sense. I always find that really hard to describe that concept. So I'm going to hop over to Instagram just now. Before I do, I'll just check. There's a couple of questions. Yeah, there is a free version of Canva. How do you get the lovely individual tiles that form a picture on the grid? We made a fab one, but once the picture was complete, the new thing we uploaded wrecked it. You see certain accounts that are able to always keep the completed, and it shouldn't wreck it. It shouldn't wreck it if you get it up in the right order. So you would start with a, I can't remember the sizing off the top of my head, but you start with a template. You build the template in Canva, and then you cut it up into, I think it's 9, or is it 12 little pieces using an app, which I can't remember what it's called. Grid post. Yeah, then that app cuts it up for you, and then I think it's Grid post. Yeah, and then you have to number them and make sure you put them up in the right order, but it shouldn't mess it up, except of course every 3 it'll come right again. So if you post one after you've completed your grid, then you post another photo that's nothing to do with that lovely pattern grid, it's going to mess it up until the row is complete again, because that's just the way it is. You can't do anything about that. So unless you post 3 posts at once, that's the only way you can avoid that. Canva is free, Nikki, but I use the paid version, and it's super cheap. It's like £10 a month, I think, because the paid version just gives you so much more functionality. You can upload your brand colors and keep them there, so they're always there for you. You can upload logos and backgrounds and stuff, and it just makes it speeds things up. That £10 a month for me saves me so much time, so I highly recommend the paid version. I spend 10 minutes a day liking everyone else. This tends to get us more followers. That must be where we went wrong. Yeah, that's exactly it. Jessica, you've got to put the time in to grow on Instagram. You can't just turn up, you have to be engaging. Okay, so let's hop into my phone and see if I can show you some of these things. Right, so I need to screen share, phone, share. Oh, this is where it's going to go wrong. Come on, Kirsty. Screen mirroring. There we go. Okay. Oh. Okay. So let me just go through this. So consider it a grid plan. So, oh, can you see there's Reggae Jean from Bridgeton? Oh, gosh. Let me see. Consider a grid plan. What can I show you? What was I going to show you on here? Graphics which stand out, stop scroll, videos that work well. First 2 lines of copy need to draw people in. Consider click. Okay, I know what I was going to show you. I was going to show you some of the things that I was talking about. So you can see if I want to add a story that I just go to where it's the top. In fact, I'll come to stories in a minute. Sorry, guys, I'm getting myself a bit confused here. We're talking about the grid today, aren't we? So we're on the grid. Now, one thing you can do is you can, when I was talking about saving it, can you see that little, on the right-hand side, underneath the blue promote button, there is a little flag thing. That is the save button. So if people are clicking that, that's really good for you. So that could be a call to action to save the post if this is going to be helpful. If you want to put this post up into stories, you can hit that little aeroplane. Can you see the heart, the comment box, and then the aeroplane? So if I hit that aeroplane, I can send that to my story. If I tap on that, it brings up the whole thing. And then if I go to, can you see the little square with the smiley face in? If I click on that, and if I click GIF, whatever it's called, and if I put tap here, then it gets me a little tap here post. Now you can choose something that feels right for your brand. And oh my goodness. Hang on. And I'm going to tap that again, that little smiley face with the square. I know it's quite tricky because you can't see where I'm going. And I'm going to mention my page. So click on the mention, which is in the middle at the top. And I'm going to put Kirsty Man Social, and I have here. Now I'm going to take my two little fingers and I'm going to pinch it together. Can you see? I'm just like going to go like that. I don't know if you can see me do that. Pinching it together to make it smaller. And then I'm just going to, it's a bit annoying because, okay, I'm going to bring that in here. I'm going to tap that here. And then when people tap that, that will bring up my @mansocial account, and then it will take people back to my grid. So quite often I would say when I've got a new post, I would go back into the little square thing here and go to GIF and say new post. Because what I want to do is I want to get people to come back to my grid. That's what I'm trying to do. I want to get more followers. So I share my post up here. I say there's a new post. I tell them to tap there. When they tap there, it doesn't do it just now because it's you know, being set up. Oh, it's so annoying. And then that will send people back to my grid. So that's quite a nice thing to do. Discard. So that's what that button does. Tagging. So if I go back to here, on the right hand side of all my 4 icons, I've got a grid. So look underneath my where it says grids, Twitter, testimonials, Facebook. That's my highlights. Look underneath there and you can see a grid button. You can see a little television with a squiggle. You can see a guide. That's the new guides button. And you can see tags at the right hand side. So when I click on that tags one, that's all the accounts that have tagged me. And so that's quite nice to have, quite nice to know that's there. And that's what happens when you tag an account. Your photo shows up on their feed if people want to go into the tag. So it's good to do that now and again, but not all the time. And just to show you how to do that, okay. So in case you don't know, hang on, here's all your filters. So you can choose those. And this is where I was saying you want to choose a consistent look and feel. I'm not going to put a filter on today. I'm just going to drag that down a bit. That's better. You want to think about, your rule of thirds with photography and things like that to make sure this looks, I mean, this is not a great photo by any means, but try and think about that when you're setting your photos up. And when you click the edit button, you can adjust stuff even more. So if your C's off, quite often quite often the horizon is bonk. You can fix that. You can fix the brightness. Okay. You can mess with the contrast. I mean, can you see why you can quickly lose hours? I actually use on I use Snapseed, and I edit my photos before I bring them in here because I find it's much quicker. But you can really mess around. Right, I won't go into any more of that. Sharpen's always a good one to do. Okay. Next. So this is where you can, when you're writing, you write your caption. So if I wanted to tag Manx National Heritage because the Peel Castle's in the background, are they on here? There they are. That's how I would do it. Lazy days on the beach. Now that is not a very compelling copy at all in any way, shape or form. And I don't use Instagram for this. So it's, for me, that's okay. But actually that, right, and that kind of thing is not going to get you people clicking more. So if I wanted people to click more, then I might say something like 4 tips for a 4-year-old on the beach in lockdown. And that might, that might get people to click through. So think about that. And when you tag people, so I might tag Visit Isle of Man, I might tag Manx National Heritage. I kind of put them all together like that. And then that will appear in their tagged button on their feed. Is this making sense? It gets quite confusing, doesn't it? I'm sure some of you already know this stuff. Always put a location, always put a location, because if you don't, you're missing out on opportunity. I generally keep it kind of vague and just put the Isle of Man. And then you can click to change it to different Twitter, Tumblr, etc. Share. Oh, I've just shared it. I didn't want to do that. And then it appears.
Kirsty, you've frozen for
on
me.
your grid.
Oh, you're back. You're back.
It's because I think it's because I'm using 2 internet connections. Can you hear me now?
Yep, you're back.
Oh, okay. So, what else was I going to show you? I think for now, that hopefully has shown that little bit that I wanted to do. Stop mirroring. And then stop share. And then screen share back to the presentation. Okay, we've got some chats. If we set the Insta page via a personal account, can it be switched to a business account without losing followers? And can you have more than one admin on the account? Yes. Do you have to have a personal account to set up a business account? Yeah, it starts as a personal account. Can you all raise your hand to let me know? Okay. Yeah, so actually, and let me just show you how to do that. Let's just go into that for a minute. Is it? I'm still here. Yeah, it's just finding it. I think it's struggling with the 2 connections. So settings, account, and then can you see it's switch account type? So there I've got a business account. At that point, you can switch to the personal account, back to it, or you can switch to the creator account, which is quite a new account. I tried it last week just to see what it did. It didn't really do anything different. So I've gone back to the business account. There were a few different things. You can Google it. What's the difference between a business account and a creator account? It's not massive, so I wouldn't worry about that. But I definitely recommend, if you are running an Instagram account for business, that you switch to the business account. And once you do that, now you might need to get a certain number of followers, maybe 100, I can't quite remember. But once you do that, you get access to the insights, which I'm going to take you into. So it's definitely worthwhile doing that. The other things, just to show you what I was talking about before, sorry, I'm jumping all over the place here. Instagram is all over the place. That's what I find sometimes. You can see that my bio, I've used emojis to list what I do. As I said, I don't really use my Instagram as a business account as such. I use it more as a sort of behind the scenes. sharing Isle of Man love. Sometimes I hop on and do little videos on the stories or on the live, but generally it's not. But so that I've tried to convey what I do there, but also telling people what the account's all about. And Linktree, I was going to show you, that was nice. So this is your one link in bio. And if you click on that, because you can't add web links into posts on Instagram, some people found it quite useful to be able to share lots of different links in their bio. So whenever they then say, because a call to action, which I'll come to in a minute, would be go and visit our link in bio. Well, you'd always have to change that link in the bio every time you wanted to send them to a different place. So it could be the home feed, the homepage on your website. It could be a particular blog you want them to share. It could be a lead magnet. It could be some PR on somebody else's site. So you can put all of these links in. So let me just show you what that looks like. Now I've got the free account, so it's not branded. If you pay a little bit, you can brand it, and that's another thing. Again, if you're corporate and you might want to invest a bit more in that, or if you're just kind of wanting to make use of it, then I didn't bother. But these are all different links. So when I click on it, it takes me out to that place, and you can add loads in there. So I highly recommend you check out something. Now, Linktree is not the only one. There's loads of different types of those kind of tree things. And as I said, test it, because it might alter your reach. So have a think about it. I think that was all the things. What were you asking me? Oh, switching between to a business account. Okay. And there's a couple more here. Do you have a personal account to set up? Yes, you have to start. And have grid and tag icons. How do I get the others? Good question, June. If you can look on my phone just there at the very, very top, can you see the plus sign? If you go into the plus sign, then that's where all of those are. And then if you just click on those, you can bring them into your icons, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to hop back over, and then remind me if I forget. I want to do, can you see this IGTV? I want to show you how you can take a live video and repurpose that onto your IGTV, onto your grid, and into your stories. So I'm going to show you that, so don't let me forget to do that. But is there any other questions just while I'm in the app? Has anyone got any other questions about setting up a post, tagging, anything on the profile before I move on to the next bit about stories? Has anyone got any questions? I know it's kind of all over the place. I was worried about how I can keep this simple, but there are so many different features that I want to tell you about. How do you share someone else's post? That's a really good question, Cheryl. I use an app. Now, I don't do this so much anymore. I use an app. Now, is it called Regram? Is that it? Repost. I use this one. So, what you do is, and this is a really good tip. So, if I was somebody who was trying to get the attention of kind of maybe affluent women, ages sort of 38 through late 40s or something, which is kind of me, so that's why no, I'm not affluent, that's a complete lie anyway, but you know, who likes the nice things in life. So one tip I did this for a client. I found, if you find new blossom, you know, when the blossom season kicks off, let's just go and find it, and it'll, when you search on a hashtag, it'll give you the top posts. Oh, do you know what? It's not the season for blossom now, is it? But, or wisteria is another one. Find the top one. So that's got quite a lot of, now this isn't a great example, but it's fine. If you copy, so hit the three little dots just to the top right, copy link, and now you go over to repost, and you, can you see it's been a while since I did this? It's maybe my internet connection. Oh, come on. Come on, there it is. It just appears, it's my internet connection. It just appears. So there you go. Attribution mark, none. I don't know what that means. Oh, not sure what that means. Copy caption, so you can copy the caption. And then you click share. And then you want to choose to put it on your feed. Next. next. I don't change it. If it's somebody's regram, I don't touch it. It's not fair. And I say, love, where do you find, I'm just the prettiest blossom. Love this from, and I can't remember the account, but I would tag the account every time. You have to credit them. And then I also tag them on the photo as well. And then I share it. And if you get the posts that have gone viral, so like the blossom post, the wisteria post, for example, in, when is it, May they come out? If you get the viral ones and you copy their hashtags as well, somehow you get really great reach because you're tapping into that as well, and because it's a great photo, so people really love it. So it's a really nice way, and I definitely recommend doing it as a strategy. Not all the time, but you know, maybe once every couple of weeks, share a great photo that makes sense to your audience and is somehow related to what you offer and what your business is. And this is when we go back to content buckets and work out what those content buckets are, which I'll come and touch on again, but I touched on it on Monday. That's a really good strategy. So hopefully that helped and answered that question. Kirsty, there are some cues in the Q&A. Below your highlights, your 4 icons. I only have 2 of those. Okay, Biosphere, Isle of Man. I just told, this is the same question that I just answered for June. You go to the discard, cancel. You go to the, there's Michelis doing a lovely little video. Can you see the plus sign at the top next to the burger menu? Click that and you get to add your other things. Okay, so I hope that answers that one. You're welcome, Cheryl. Q&A. I feel a bit more stop. I feel a bit more stressy today. Sorry, guys. I think it's because I don't know. What was somebody just asking me?
Kirsty, sorry, Kirsty. There's a little Q&A box you should see, and there's some questions in there that some good questions in there. You should be able to see that. Nikki,
how do I get verified on Facebook and Instagram? It's a nightmare on Instagram. Actually, both of them, it's a nightmare. And you, I don't want to go back into the app just now because I've just come out of it. But if you go into settings, I think the verification for Instagram is in there. Verification, do you mean the tick, the blue tick for Facebook? I've never had to do that, so I couldn't tell you. I would give that a Google. But also it's very important that you verify your business manager. That's a separate thing, but that's happening at the moment. So it's good to do that. But again, I'm not going to go into that just here. Does Canva work on mobile? Yes, Lorna. And I use it all the time. So I'm a bit of a desktop person. I much prefer desktop to my phone. So I do a lot of creating on my desktop, and then I hop over to the app, and then you can just save them into your photos, and then you can do it all from there. So yes, there's an app. Best way to identify hashtags that are best for your ideal client. I'll do hashtags later on, Carol. I've done lots of mine on my phone. Change it. Yes. Daft question, but how do you find people you know on Insta? That isn't a daft question. Usually you should get them, it should suggest people to you. But what I always do is I make sure, like I'll have a list of organic influencers that I have on other platforms, and I have a list and I go through and search and make sure I've got all of those. And I just kind of, you just search for their names. But sometimes you're right, they don't always come up, but generally it is that. But you should also get them suggested. If you know them, they're in your phone directory, then you'll get suggested it because it knows. Preview is a great free app for grid planning. Oh, great tip. Thanks, Ariane. Rach, is it okay to add personal life pics on IG? Yes, my business is a cafe and I've thought about it during lockdown, but yes. Yeah, Rach, I'm going to come to content in a minute, but it's all I do. I mean, it's all kind of, it's a really, people buy from people. So if you've got, I think it's tricky, isn't it, around sharing photos of children. I don't really like to do it too much of my own, and I don't put like tags and stuff. But I think, you know, great pictures of when you're out and about, behind the scenes content where people can get to know you. And quite often if people get to know you as a person, they're more compelled to buy from you. So it can be really powerful. And landscape photos of the Isle of Man should definitely be a content bucket for any local business over here, I think. Sorry, hospitality. Can you use Insta on a PC as well as a phone? Yes, it is. It's the 6th most visited website. I don't use it so much on the desktop, but I do use a scheduling tool to sometimes when I'm organized to set up my posts on desktop, and then you can schedule them on your mobile. I use Content Cal for that. I'm sure you can do it on Hootsuite and some of these others as well. But yeah, it is mainly an app for the phone. Is it ever okay to post Facebook posts straight into Insta, or should you treat them totally separately? That's one thing you need to test, Amanda, because it depends what your content strategy is, what's your plan, what works. Are you talking to the same ideal client on both platforms, in which case then yeah, if it works and it saves you time and it's a way for you to be present and visible, then that's great. But what we often find is that you kind of need a different vibe on Facebook than you do on Instagram. So putting a bit more thought into that and splitting them out and working directly for the platform can work better. That's not to say you shouldn't test it. It's not to say you shouldn't do it. It's something you've got to figure out to see if it works for your business. I've managed to get 2 business accounts on Instagram for my business. Can I combine the 2? I don't think you can combine. You can on Facebook, you can merge pages, but I wouldn't say I've got the final answer on that, Vicky. I would Google it, but I don't think so. How do I rearrange the post icons? I've tried click and drag and it doesn't work. The post icons. Penny, what do you mean? Do you mean the grid and the IGTV and the guide? Is that what you mean? I'll come back to that one. More ones in the quiz. Building. Can you remind me how to do the click through from stories to main grid? The thing I just showed you, yeah, I can show you that again, or you can watch the video back, Jessica, because that, or I could, yeah, when we come and do a stories one in a minute, I'll show you that. We need to do a session on building your personal brand. I did that from Amazon. It's important because it's, yeah, definitely agree. Personal brand is quite different. Okay, let's see. Right. Grid. Penny, do you mean, I'm not really sure what you mean. I'm really sorry, Penny. I'm going to move on just now. Okay, stories. What works in stories? So I try to share, if I'm doing an account, if I'm running an account for a client, I try to share a story every day, because then you're always present. If you go onto the home feed in your Instagram, if you just go into Instagram just now and click on the little house at the bottom left of your app, then if you have a story, then you're always going to be present up there. It's just another place for you to be present. But again, be strategic. So don't just be posting nonsense. The better the stories can be, then the better it is for you, because people will start to click into them because they're entertaining or whatever. So I try to add 1, but it's actually really good to add 3 throughout the day, because each time it'll say so-and-so added a new story, and that people will be reminded if they're online. Use engagement encouraging features. I've said that a few times. I'm going to show you what they are just now. Respond to direct messages. If people direct message you, then to respond. If the algorithm sees those conversations taking place in the background, then it really likes it. Record short videos of tips and tricks, so 15-second ones, and then add the text. So I'm going to show you how to do that just now. Yeah, I did that. Test slideshows. So again, you can create something in Canva, and then you can use an app like InShot to put your videos together, or what's another one? Quick or something like that, Splice, to put them together. And then you can put them as a little slideshow in your story. Again, it needs to be less than 15 seconds. I can't show you all of these apps today because we'll just run out of time. There's so much I could show you, and I've had to like limit it. You can share posts as stories. That's what I showed you before, and I can remind you. Don't forget your 1 clear call to action in your story. Use hashtags in your story. Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh, this is chaos today, isn't it? This is what I'm reading from. Sorry, guys. Use hashtags. You can use 1 hashtag sticker, so definitely use that one, and then you can put other hashtags in as well. You can use GIFs. You can add the location. Again, you can choose where that is. You can add mention accounts, and you should do, because that gives them a shout and they might share it for you. And keep highlights in mind. So highlights are the little icons, I'll show you those in a minute, that are also on your profile page, and you can repurpose your stories into highlights. And then you can go live and repurpose that live video. When you're live, you kind of get pushed, you get bumped to the top of the stories feed for the time that you're live. And then you can actually then save that video, and you can then put it onto your IGTV and onto your stories. So I'll show you that just now. So I'm just going to be quiet for 2 seconds and let you read all of that, because I know it wasn't up. And you'll also get the replay. So I'm going to hop over to stories just now. Share screen, iPhone, share, and then screen mirror. Oh. Is that mirror, is that working? Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's all good, Kirsty.
Okay, great. Okay. So let's do a story. So you can choose a photo. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to choose again. And you can, if you click into the little square, the smiley face, and what I encourage you to do is just go and have a mess around in here, because I can show you a couple of things just now, but you're going to find it, you need to find your own way around it, and don't be scared to just go and experiment. So just like allocate yourself an hour. This hour is for investigating Instagram, and go and have a look at some of the engagement things you can do. So, I mean, this is kind of, I could put something like, I don't know, how lovely is this? And then hopefully people would click on that, and then they'll move that. That's a slider, and that is seen as engagement. So if you can do something like that, so if you run an ice cream shop, you could put a photo of your ice cream and say, how much do you want this right now? And people will do the slider. If you've got, if you run a self-catering place, then you could put a photo of the beach and say, how much do you wish you were here right now? Slider. And that is an engagement. So think about questions that you can ask. If I don't want to use that anymore, I'm just putting my finger on and dragging it down to the bin, and it goes into the bin. Questions, so you can ask a question. So I can just say, ask me anything. Or you could say, what dish would you like to see on specials next week? Or, do you know what I mean? How can you engage with your audience? So think about things like that. You can, I just keep going back into that square with the smiley face. You can do a quiz. Guess my favorite, or you could say, what, you know, do you know when you're trying to think of something off the top, off the top of your head? You could, if you were a nail salon, you could have pictures of nails and say, would you go for the blue or the green? And then you just type in green, you type in there blue. Oh, you can add more. Can you see that pops up? Which would you choose? If you sell houses, you could do that. For that, you know, which house would you choose? And you could display a couple of your houses on there. So how can you make it work for your business? What questions can you ask? How can you use these entertaining, engagement encouraging tools? Now, another thing, if you come out of that, oh my goodness, there, that's what I want. You can do a live. So it tells me, can you see now that I'm doing a live? I'm pressing live. This isn't live just now. Oh my gosh, it's really weird seeing my face. It says 44 followers are active right now. So I know that 44 of my followers are active. So when I go live, those 44 people are going to get a notification. And so, oh, Carol's just mentioned me in her story. They're going to get a notification. So did you see, by the way, that's a way of engaging with people. If you want to get the attention of some organic influencers, you can just tag them, and that they might go, oh, what's this? And off they go and they'll have a look. And that could be a way to get, I know people have got press coverage through doing sort of organic influencer engagement. So think of things like that. Oh my gosh, I can't cope with the notifications. I think that's why I'm quite like, oh. Right, so what I'm going to do is quickly go live and I'm going to show you what you can do, okay? So this is me live on Instagram. Oh, it's going to be a really bad connection. Hi, I'm just super fast going to be live because I'm doing a workshop. I just want to show people what is possible, hopefully here. And then I stop. Okay, and now I need to stop. I'm going to let me. That's the presentation, so you can see me on there. Okay, and then and see how I'm kind of like, I don't really care. I'm just going to delete this later, but I can't work out how to stop it. Oh yeah, I just hit the cross. So then I end now. Now, can you see it's giving me these options? I can share it to IGTV, or I can download the video, or I can delete the video. So if I just spoke a load of nonsense, I can just delete it. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to share it to my IGTV. So share to ITV. Oh, it wasn't 1 minute long. Okay, so I can't do that today, but I will show you because I did one earlier. Okay, here's one I made earlier. Do you remember Blue Peter? So this was an IGTV that I posted. This was a live video that I posted the other day. And I put it onto my IGTV, and the screens it took me through. I'll just show you quickly because I took photos in case this very thing happened. So it took me to that. That's where we just were, isn't it? And then the next screen it did was this. So I could select a new cover photo. So if you're really savvy and into this, you could create your IGTV templates like people do for YouTube. You know, they have like cover photos. You can create those in Canva. And then you could have it on your phone and bring it into here as an alternative cover. You can add a title, the video of your title appears here. And then you just put in, it asks you to put in all the stuff. So quick behind the scenes, and you put a description. You can put your hashtags in there. You can add it to a series in the same way that you can on YouTube, because again, they're trying to compete with YouTube. And then you can choose to post a preview onto your feed. And then that is what this is. Can you see that one there? Top left of my grid. And so quick behind the scenes, that's the title. And then 3 places you can publish your content when you go live on your IG stories. And so hopefully people click that. I've told them a little bit of value. I've put some hashtags in there. Usually I put way more, but I was doing it super quickly. And then it only shows you 15 seconds on the feed. And then it gives you the option to keep watching, and it takes you into IGTV. And there it is. Okay. So you can go and have a watch of that video, and hopefully it'll tell you a bit more. But hopefully that makes sense. That's one way you can just, if you go live, it's very powerful because suddenly you can be in like 3 or 4 different places from that one live. Now, I know that's difficult if you're not used to going live, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. And if you are in the hospitality industry, I would absolutely be going live every day because people are craving to see our beautiful sea. They are missing our island so much. And if you can just go and do a quick video, if you don't want to be in it, don't be in it, but do a video of the sea lapping on the beach or a beautiful river going down the Glen. You know, I've got, where's my, I was in Glen May the other week. Oh, my little boy has learned how to use my phone. Oh, here's another one. This was Happy Valley below Port Jack. That photo, some people get so much from that. You know, you don't have to be in it, just go and share those things. So I'm just looking at my list here. Use engagement encouraging features. I've shown you how to do that. Respond to direct messages. So when people reply to your questions on Instagram, it goes into a direct message. You know, those engagement encouraging questions that I was just talking about, ask me anything, that goes into your direct messages. So make sure you respond to those. And then you can take those and make that into new content when they're asking you anything. They asked me this, here's a piece of content. You asked, I answered. Okay, I think, oh, I know what I was going to show you. Can you see there's so much to show you? And I wonder if I'm showing you too much, or if it's too much and I'm going too fast, or if it's overwhelming. I don't mean to, but I hope, oh gosh, sorry, put that away. I hope that you can, I hope that you can take just one or two little things from this. And obviously you've got the video to watch back, and hopefully it's just giving you loads of inspiration for things that you can try which feel aligned to you and to your business, because it's, you've got to feel comfortable doing it, but it's also got to be right for the business. And so hopefully that's what I'm doing here. And I'm not just giving you too many things, but, and yeah, tell me if I am. So let's go back into that. Oh, am I in that? Yeah. So it's very important when you when you do a story that you do put a hashtag. So you get to choose location, at mention, and hashtag. So I try and use those on every single one. So put Isle of Man, and again, you can make it smaller. So all I'm doing is just pinching my fingers in and out to make it smaller. You can hide all of these things behind things. It just keeps it a bit tidier. Let's mention visit Isle of Man. Now, maybe I want people to see that. If you tap on that, it changes it to that. If you tap again, changes that to that. So choose which one you like the best. Now, what I can do is I can just hide that if I want to. I'm going to use the IOM story hashtag, which is the campaign hashtag. I presume it's still the same one. You can do that. If you want to put other hashtags, can you see the big A and the little a at the top right hand corner? I click on that. Now, a tip for hashtags, and I'll tell you how to research them in a minute. Tip for hashtags is if you've got them grouped somewhere. So if you've got like hashtags for Isle of Man, lovely stuff. You might have so I've got hashtags for social media marketing, small business owners, inspiration hashtags. Put them into groups depending what your photo is, and then you can just copy and paste them from something like Trello or from your notes in your phone, so you're not typing them out every time. But what you can do is just hashtag Isle of Man, put a space, put another hashtag, on the beach. Go and do your research and tap into accounts which curate images. So for example, British seasides, it's mainly tourism ones that do it, but go and do like Discover Isle of Man, do Isle of Insta. If you tag them, Isle of Man _ is it going to come up? I don't know if they're still on the go actually. So you can put all your hashtags in there. You can again make them smaller. Don't make them tiny because they still need to be readable by the algorithm or the app. You can do writing and say lazy days, whatever. Now on the bottom, can you see you've got loads of different text there? So laxy days, oh my goodness, I'm not going to change that. So choose that one. At the top, can you see the A with the stars? That highlights it usually. Oh, there you go, it's highlighted it. Now this is a nice little trick. I'm going to put my finger on the little circle with all the colour in at the top in the middle, and I'm going to drag my finger down. Oh no, I'm not. I'm just going to tap it. Sorry. And then I'm just going to put my finger on, say and it doesn't matter which one. I'm just going to choose the orange one, and I'm going to hold my finger down and drag, just dragging. And if I drag it to different things, you can see the color changes to match. So that's the color of the beach. If I wanted to do the color of the sky. So that's how, if you've got a branded thing from Canva that you've pulled in, you can easily get your brand, if you wanted to make it a bit more authentic Instagram, to do some text, you could do that. Done. And there it is. Laxy days. If I tap on it again, I can edit it. And if I tap the A, can you see there's 3 A's? The one to the right, that makes it move. Oh, I quite like that. See, it's moving. And so any movement in a photo is good because it's just going to catch people's eyes. So that's another clever thing. So can you see what I mean? You just need to go and explore. You don't, and none of these save. And another tip, I do this quite often now. Can you see that down arrow there? I quite often download my story from here without even printing it. Printing, publishing. That's saved now into my phone, Instagram and things. So use other apps to create stuff and then bring it in, doing that. That's quite clever. So the link button, you can swipe up to IGTV. And I can, so sorry, I'm going quite fast there. Let me just do that again. Yes. So if you see the buttons across the top, I clicked on the one that looks like a paperclip, like a link in the middle. So I'm clicking that and it offers me the ability to add a swipe up to IGTV. Now, usually you get swipe ups if you've got 10,000 followers. Or if you run an ad, you can run ads that swipe up as well. So to have a swipe up to your IGTV is quite good, isn't it? So if I click on that, and this is where you can see as well, you can tag it if you've got, you know, if you're doing promotions or whatever. So click plus IGTV. I can choose one of these, tag it, done, and then I'll get, when it goes on, it will be call to action. Did you see it said call to action added? So people will be able to swipe up and it'll go to the IGTV. So that's the benefits of using IGTV as well. I'm really trying to push that. Does that make sense? Let me just have a look down here and I'm going to come back to questions. Gives at appropriate location, keep highlights in mind, go live and repurpose. So the other thing I should show you while we're here is highlights. And so if I come out of that, discard. Why can I never get out of this? Oh, there we go. Oh, and also, by the way, so have a play here. Can you see it says create? I'm going to put, oh God, there, I'll put it on my hair. Create, boomerang, layout, multi-capture, level, photo boost, super zoom, hands-free. Super zoom's funny. So you just, oh God, I probably shouldn't do it on me. Hang on, let me just, okay, let's do it on this. Right, ready? You just hold your finger on it. And then it creates like a little mini video. And when you post that, yeah, so that could be nice for something, couldn't it? So please do go and have a play in there because there is so much you can mess around. You can have so much fun. You can lose hours, but you can have so much fun. So I really invite you to go and have a play in there. Right. Fergus, what is that noise? Can you go downstairs with Daddy, please? Look, I've only got one slipper on. Oh, right. Oh my gosh, it's just chaos. Share screen. No, that one. Share. Okay, I'm going to come into questions. Oh, does it? Can you all hear me now?
Yeah, you're fine for me, Kirsty.
Can I run multiple accounts, i.e. one work, one for my boss, personal for me, and a business? Yes, you can. You can have as many accounts as you want. It gets a bit tricky. I think the limit is 5. When I get to 5 accounts on my phone, I starts to get a bit crazy. You can get more, I think. But yeah, you just have to make sure when you're posting that you're on the right account. Can I only tag people in a post if I follow them? No, you can post any. You can tag anyone, Simon. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to take a breath for a minute. Is this okay? I feel it's quite chaotic today. Sorry, there's lots of things got a bit crazy, but is there anything, am I going too fast? Is there anything you think would be beneficial if I went back over, or shall I carry on with what we've got for now? Okay, perfect. I'll keep going. Right. So, research. Now, this is Carol was asking about research, about hashtags and stuff. So as I said earlier, hashtags are important on Instagram because you can be discovered. People follow hashtags. However, you do need to research. You do need to put some effort into it. If you're a small account, then using the big hashtags that have had like over 1 million users is just not really going to work for you. You're just going to get lost in everybody else that's using that hashtag all of the time. So the best thing to do is use small hashtags in your niche. So less than 5,000 users or less than 100,000 users, and I'll show you in a minute how you discover that. And as I said before, once you do your research, if you make a list of them somewhere online, whether it's a Word document or it depends how you plan your posts and things. If you're going to do it all on your phone, then use Trello app on your phone, or use Notes on your phone, or some other thing on your phone that you can allow you to keep blocks of information, text, so you can just copy, paste, and stick it in the caption every time without you having to write hashtag this, hashtag that, because it gets really faffy. So I'm going to show you how to do hashtag research in a minute. There are apps you can use, there are things online, but actually I find Instagram itself is the best place to do hashtag research. Check out which content is working for the people with the same ideal audience as you. Now, if your business is in the Isle of Man and you're just trying to reach people in the Isle of Man, then it's a bit of a different thing. But if you're an online business that has clients in the UK, customers in the UK, your e-com or whatever, then, or if you're an online education like myself, I've got clients all over the place, then go and find the accounts who have already got your ideal audience's ears and look for the posts on their accounts that got way more likes than others. They're the posts that have really somehow resonated with the audience, which hopefully, if you've got your research right, is your audience. And then you can think, that really works for my audience. Okay, I'm going to do that. So do that research. Now, so it is a lot of research, isn't it? Again, if you don't want to do the research and you just want to get on there and do it, then just get on there and do it. Don't worry about, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? You might just have a gut feel about something that could work. Go off and try it. But if you wanted to spend a bit of time setting yourself up for success, then this could be some steps that you take. Map out your key organic influencers. So an influencer, just to remind you again, is an account that has got quite a lot of followers, but the followers are engaged. So they're always commenting, they're always liking. It can be, you can have a micro influencer, and actually sometimes that can be more powerful, because with the big influencers that have maybe got hundreds of thousands, maybe even 1 million followers, again, you're just going to get lost. So if you can find a smaller influencer, maybe a blogger in your field who is just, starting off on Instagram, maybe they've got a couple of thousand followers, but it's a really engaged audience, go and hang out on there. So if you're a web development company, go and find some of the social media marketers who are doing really well on Instagram, follow them, engage on their accounts, add value. Don't just put a heart or whatever in the comments, add some value in some way. So I know I keep going back to Visit Isle of Man, but it's the easiest thing that comes to mind. If Visit Isle of Man share a photo of Port Erin Lighthouse, then you could go on, if you're a hotel, if you're a local restaurant, if you are surfboard people, is there anyone? Paddleboard, sorry. A bike rental company, the ice cream shop, go and comment on that photo of Visit Isle of Man, comment on it and say, there's a really lovely restaurant. If you walk around from that lighthouse to the other end of the bay, there's a really lovely restaurant, not restaurant, winery, Foraging Vinters, tell people about that. It's a great tip. And actually, if you're in the mood, get the bus to Calf of Man, walk around the headland, drop into Foraging Vinters for a great cocktail or glass of fizz or whatever to finish your walk off. Add some value in that way. And the result of you doing that is, one, you're showing up, showing you give value. People are going to come and click and visit your profile. You're going to give Visit Isle of Man's account a boost, because the algorithm's going to see that post is getting engagement. Visit Isle of Man might see you and think, oh, we'll keep an eye on them. They're obviously quite savvy on social. They maybe share some nice photos. We might share a photo of theirs one day. There's so many great reasons for it. Again, it takes time. So what time do you want to invest in this? But it's a really good thing to do. And that's organic influencer marketing. So hopefully that makes sense. Hashtags, let's show you that just now. Oh God, I keep forgetting what to do every time. Share. Screen mirroring, Zoom. Sorry, I talk to myself a lot. A little bit crazy. Oh my gosh, all of these notifications. Got over 1,000 followers. Oh, that's really nice. Thanks, guys. Hashtags. So you're going to click on the little magnifying glass at the bottom, the very bottom, the magnifying glass, second one in. Click on that. Oh, sorry, guys. Can you tell I'm just obsessed with Bridgerton? Oh my gosh, that's quite embarrassing. Right. Hashtag. So Carol asked this. So I'm going to say for Carol, she's a business coach. So you might want to put something like mindset. Okay, so hashtag mindset. Now you can see there that 30.1 million people have used the mindset hashtag. So if you use that hashtag, you are going to get lost. So what you need to do is you need to, Facebook, Instagram is suggesting a bunch of other hashtags for you that have got less uses. So mindset of excellence, mindset mastery, mindset coaching, mindset is key. I'll go on and on and on. So they're still fairly big. Keep going. And you might start to come across some much smaller ones. So there's one that's under 100K. Mindset, I don't even know what it says. Mindset for success, 70.9K. Okay, so there may be the ones, or mindset goals. There may be the ones that you would want to use because you're going to get more chance of being discovered. Now, again, this is if you're trying to reach global or UK or whatever. This is when, if you think you've got an audience in London, if you think most of your clients are in London, then your post would tag London. Okay, because people follow locations or they get shown things in the explore feed from your location. So tag that, put in your less popular hashtags. You can also, from this, you can do some more research. You can find accounts who are using those mindset tags. They might have the mindset hashtag in their bio. You can see, oh, that's tag, that's what I was just looking at. You can also look at places that use the word mindset. So that's another sort of little bit of research you can do there. So that's how I do my hashtag research. There are tools, there's Hashtagify Me, which used to be free, but now you have to pay. There is Display Purposes. That's another good one. That's a website, Display Purposes. But I just find actually just doing the research on Instagram is easiest. Okay, so that is hashtags, tick. And okay, so now I'm going to go back to this screen share. Oh my gosh, you'll all be going for a drink and a lie down after this, won't you? Chat. Oh dear. How do I arrange it? That's it. Can I run? That's it. Can I only tag? Okay, there's no more questions in there. That's great. Okay, so let's hop on. Oh, I've done that. I already did that. Okay, let me just quickly nip on and see what else. Oh, do you know what? I'm not going to show you Mojo just now because I think I might run out of time. But if I have time, I'll come back to it. But I can highly recommend you buy the Mojo app. It is a little app and it's really clever. Just go and it's great for making content. If I've got time at the end, I'll show it to you. I think I paid $4.99 for the app, but it's really good. How often and when to post. So people get really bogged down in this. Again, you can have a look at your insights and you can find out when people are online. However, if that is a crazy time for you, it's like minute differences all through the day. If that's a crazy time for you and it doesn't work, then it's not going to work. So you've got to find a time that allows you the time to do a little bit of engagement around when you post, because otherwise there's not much point to you posting, because you know you're not kind of tapping people on the shoulder, as I was alluding to earlier. So find a time that works when you've got 20 minutes spare to do a bit of engagement, do the post, do a bit more engagement, and that fits into your schedule. That's what I would say. And I would say don't set yourself up for failure. So if you think you can post every day, then brilliant. If you can do that, brilliant. If you can't, then don't worry about it, and maybe do more authentic, less polished content in the stories. And actually, while we're talking about that, in terms of polished versus authentic, I realize it's hard for corporates who to sort of be a bit more authentic and lose that sort of rigidity of brand guidelines, etc. But if you can, then it gets you back to that power of people buy from people. There was a quote I shared the other day, I don't know if it's in this one, I don't know if I left it in. Jay Bear says, social media allows big companies to act small again. And it really does. If you've got a few absolute superstars on your team who, okay, you need a social, you'll have a social media team maybe, or maybe a social media manager, or you outsource or whatever. But if you've got some people in your team who are happy to go on video and maybe join in on that, so can you use it as Instagram as a sort of behind the scenes piece for your business if you've got a kind of a fun vibe at the company? And yeah, behind the scenes, really authentic, down to earth content, as long as you're delivering value. So it's not just showing up and like that picture of my little boy on the beach, that's not really going to be giving anybody much value. So I probably wouldn't be posting that unless I was like a mum account and I was trying to, you know, when I was gearing it towards activities for kids in lockdown or something. You know, my pictures that I share, hopefully I try and find really nice photos. Like I love taking photos on my phone, I love it. So I try and find really lovely shots and I post those, and hopefully the entertainment is that people enjoy that photo. Or the value is if I show up and tell somebody how to do something on social media. So that's the value that I give. And every now and again, you have to remember to sell as well, which I always forget to do. So I digress massively there, but consistency is key. So go for Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or just go for once a week or whatever it is. You do need to be a bit more present on Instagram, I find. If you kind of just show up every now and again, it doesn't really work, which is what I do, but I don't really care. But consistency is key. So find a way to figure it out. And the key is just to start and then to test and to measure and to refine. And it's always that circle: test, measure, refine. Okay, so let's get into content. And I said this the other day, everything you want is waiting for you on the other side of consistency. And that comes for everything in life, doesn't it, really? So I always recommend that people do a big mind map, a big brainstorm of content buckets that are really going to resonate with your ideal client. So, this is where my mind goes blank again. A restaurant, you might be talking about your suppliers. So especially if you're like into, you know, local grown stuff, you might be talking about, you might be doing behind the scenes with a chef. The chef might hop on, he might be able to give you a tip every week, a tip of the day from Chef Paul or whatever, you know. It's brilliant, that stuff, for building rapport. What else could you be doing? Just meet the team stuff is lovely. I'm trying to think restaurant here. Again, if you're in the Isle of Man and you attract tourism, then definitely value content around walks or beautiful places to visit, or the local village that or town that your restaurant is in, things like that. How can you also community shout outs for other sort of businesses within your sector that aren't necessarily your competition, but you know your audience is going to have a requirement to know about. So the trains, for example, or heritage stuff, you know, how can you find different content buckets that are going to resonate with your ideal audience, that have got some kind of connection with your business? Check out what content works for people with the same ideal audience as your business. So go and look at successful accounts, find out what's working for them. A mix of, and that, when I say what's working for them, it's the comments, the posts that have got lovely conversations going, or comments, or lots of likes and things. A mix of created and curated. This is what we talked about before, regrams. It works best, and you have to always credit. And think value, 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 sell. So you're giving value, 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 and then you sell something, okay? And don't forget get creative about how you can use your stories. And I shared this the other day. The value is in either educating or inspiring or entertaining, or another one is motivating as well. Your content wants to either be real-time relevant, so things that are trending, brand relevant, so obviously it's something to do with your business, or relevant to your customers. And when I say that, it's got to be, again, somehow tied, you know, even if it's a kind of tentative link, is that the word? You know what I mean? Somehow linked to what you sell. And the content wants to be either to build your brand, grow your brand, or sell. Grow is where you're going to get, hopefully, regrams and shares into stories and things like that. That's going to help you grow. Building is expertise, tips, showing why your business is the best at what it does. And then if you get all of this right, then you'll really inspire that word of mouth. You know, people in the pub at the weekend, oh, have you seen that account? They share such lovely stuff. You should go and check it out. And then they'll come and follow it. You know, you want people to be talking about your presence on social media because you provide more value than anybody else. You're doing something really different. And here is a bunch of content ideas for you. I'm just going to let you read it through while I have a drink. Awareness days. I didn't mention that on Monday, actually. User-generated content is so powerful. So powerful. Behind the scenes. Okay, so you're going to get these slides. So I'm going to hop on. What time is it? 1:15. Wow. So the calls to action is really, really important. If your call to action is you want people to go to your website, make it easy for them. So don't just say, go and click the link in our bio. Tell them, click the link in our bio here, and then put your name, and then they just tap that, and it takes them to your profile, and there's the link in bio, because you obviously can't link in the posts. Download your free thing. We'd love to see your thoughts below. That's encouraging comments. Double click if you love this too. Drop an emoji below. Tag a friend who needs to read it today. Is this useful? Save it for later. So loads of things there. Actually, I didn't say this, but if you're trying to grow an account, have I got it here? Contest. Oh, here we go. Promotions, contests. So at an Instagram competition, again, as I said on Monday, you have to be aware of the platform rules for running competitions, but they are a lot less rigid than Facebook. So you can ask people to tag here and comment below and follow the account. You can do that. So yeah, contests can really help grow your account. Okay. And then what you need to make sure you're doing is that you are keeping an eye on your insights, because if you're putting a load of effort in, and it can take effort, Instagram, if you're putting all that effort in and you're not really getting the results, then what's the point? So so make sure that you do have an eye on this. So let's just take you through some of the analytics that are available. And again, you probably won't get this if you don't have a business account, or if you don't have a certain number of followers. Okay. So to get to your account, you click on at the bottom right-hand corner, go into your page here, and then first of all, actually, you can get insights on a post. So can you see where it says view insights? You click on that. And this is where you can actually see, so you can see all that, blah, blah, blah. I reached 272 people, which isn't much, is it really? Considering I've got 1,000 followers, it's like, okay, it's about a quarter. How did they find me? So 299 impressions. The difference between reach and impressions is reach is one person. So if I saw Chambers post 3 times, the reach would be 1, but the impressions would be 3. And so that's the difference between reach and impressions. So 299 impressions, so impressions is generally higher. From the home page, that's just from the home feed, 269 people. From my profile, so people hopped over to my profile and they just saw it because they visited my profile. From hashtags, 6. Now, if you get your hashtags right, you can really push that number up. If you can nail a hashtag strategy, it never goes crazy, but it can help you reach new accounts. So with that, I reached 6 accounts. You know, what if 3 of those people were potential clients? You know, it's worth doing. I can choose to promote the post from here. I was going to show you about this, wasn't I? So when you click promote post, you get 3 choices. You can either send people to your profile. So this is a really nice way to grow your page, because if a post does really well, I wouldn't boost a post that hasn't done very well, but if a post has done particularly well, then I'll be like, oh, this is obviously a really good post. I want to show that to more people. And so you show it to more people. You choose whether you want them to be driven back to your profile or driven to your website or send you a direct message. So work out which call to action, what action do you want them to take? What action is going to be aligned with your strategic goals, and choose that and test different things, see if it works. So that's quite nice. So that's the insights on the post. Now you can also get insights on the account in general. So you can see for the last 7 days. So in the last 7 days, I've reached 260 accounts, which is an increase of 274%. Content interactions 16, I can go and see those by clicking on that. And it tells you what your top stories are, top IGTV. So it's quite good. You can get some information, quite good information in there. If you want to understand your audience, you can click see all. So you can see when new followers are coming in, top locations. Now you can change that to countries. So 56 of my followers in the Isle of Man, 23% in the UK, some in the States. You can see the age range. You can see between men and women. That's the split. You can see at the bottom the active times when people are most active on the account, and you can see that for different days. Then you can click on the days and you can see that actually it's very equal across the days. So it's worth having a look in there. You can change that. They've changed this actually. It's not as much in here as there used to be, which is fine. Oh, I know. I was going to show you. I'm just going back to the post, sorry. You can see what actions they took. Where was that? There is somewhere where you can see how many website clicks there were, but I can't find where that is now. Go and have a nosy around anyway. It's really worthwhile having a look into your insights to make sure that you're achieving your goals. And so I need to stop share there. I need to share here, share. And some KPIs you might want to consider: how engaged are your audience? You want to look for 2% or more on Instagram. So it's lower really, I would say, than Facebook. Depending though, you might have a really engaged audience. You might have already nailed it, in which case you'll have much higher engagement. Are people coming back to see your profile? Are they clicking for your profile? Are you meeting your objectives? What are your weekly impressions? What actions are people taking? And are you getting the results that you need? Can you go and see Daddy, Ferg? Joy. So we talked about awareness, which the next thing you want is engagement. You want to be having those interactions with people, and then going into conversions. That's where you'll get your sales. And if you use ads, that's going to speed it all up. That's the effect of pay to play. It just speeds it all up. And actually, when I was talking before about going around and engaging on posts, sometimes I'll just try and do that less and probably put a bit more money into boosting a post every couple of weeks, and just put the effort into one post a week. And even though I'm posting 3 times, and then the sort of impact of that is that the other 2 posts will still get views and things, because I put a lot of effort into one post and put that on a boost and put that on a bring people back to the profile. So sometimes it's, I said this on Monday as well, when it comes to spending money on ads on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, wherever, the fact is it reduces the requirement to spend as much time. So time is money. So you kind of view the investment like that, and you kind of work out what you want to do, where you want to spend the money, whether it's on resource or whether it's on paying to play. So boosting, as I just said, make sure you boost organic posts that fly, that perform well, because it'll make them fly. And because Instagram ads are set up in Facebook Ads Manager, this is exactly the same slide as I had the other day. You can optimize your Instagram ads for reach, for audience growth, engagement, video views, messages, traffic, conversions. And by doing that, by doing these things, you're going to increase the number of interactions that people have with your brand. What do they say? Is it 7 times, 9 times? I can't remember. That you want people to interact with your brand before they maybe make a sale, or that people do want to interact with a brand before they make a sale. That speeds it all up. And you can also create warm audiences in Facebook Ads Manager from your Instagram ads and retarget people. And as I said the other day, you can create lookalike audiences of your warm audiences as well. And they are filled with people who look just like your warm audiences, so they can be quite powerful as well. So there's a lot you can do with ads that could really grow your brand much faster. Not everybody needs that, not every business needs that. They just need to have a presence and they don't need the ads. So if it's right for your business, then it's worth looking into. And social media ads, like I said this before, didn't I? Allows big companies to act small again. Key to success, these are the same ones as from the very start. I started with this slide. Be the account which offers the most value in your niche. Oh, no, I didn't. No, I didn't start with this slide. Be the account which offers the most value in your niche. Yeah, definitely be that. Be the account which shows up consistently to offer that value. And be social. So ask questions, answer questions, respond, engage on other posts through adding value. This is the slide I started with. So make sure it's not just about Instagram. How does it fit into your wider digital marketing? Any questions? Let's see if I got any questions. Some in the chat. Mojo, is it Mojo Editor? Is it Mojo Editor? It's just called Mojo. Hang on. Mojo. It's kind of orangey pink and it's got 3 little white oblongs on their side. The app. Q&A. Does Insta in Isle of Man support CTA? Do you know what, Ian? I'm going to hop onto my phone just now and show you. I think, so this is the, oh, hang on. Hang on. That's Mojo. Can you see it? That Mojo app, that's what it looks like. Instagram, where are you? Home. Edit profile. Is it in here? Oh, it's really struggling. I think my other half is on the phone on a Teams call. It's not going to work, I'm sorry. When I go and look into that, Ian, it does give me the options, but it gives me specific apps to link up. So Acuity, for example, for Book Now. If you go through it, it's not going to let, I can't get onto the internet. I think my other half is on the internet. But there are some apps that it supports. In terms of Instagram shopping and the shoppable tags, it doesn't support them here yet, I don't think. But I think your call to action support button can be supported if it fits in with the apps that have got the API. Do you know, the hookup in the background? Do collaboration with other accounts? Yes, I would say, and I think it's really powerful, Chris. You definitely should be, if you've got people in businesses who've got the ear of the same ideal client that you want, definitely be engaging there. And see if you can offline have a chat and say, look, I'm starting to do a bit of a new strategy on Facebook and on Instagram or wherever. Do you fancy doing a bit of engagement, reciprocal engagement? And engagement pods are a bit spammy and can be really time consuming and very annoying. So I wouldn't get involved in them. But if you can get some real genuine sort of hookups with local businesses that will work, yeah, I think it can be really valuable. There's some other questions. With contest competitions, just be wary. Yes, Darren, be wary of the legal implications of the Isle of Man gambling. Absolutely. What was the name of the repost app you used? Nick, it was called Repost. And it's a little white, it's white with purple arrows going around like in a circle. Play Store link. Oh, thank you, Amore. Jack, can we VPN so Insta thinks we're in another country and get the shop functions anyway? That is a really good question, Jack. I'm not techie, so I don't know, but it's a really good point. Maybe try it. Find somebody who is looking to try and get that option and see if that works. Because if you can get, excuse me, if you can tap into that and help people get set up with Instagram and Facebook shopping through accessing the VPN showing you that it's in a different place, showing Instagram that you're in a different place, and that can be really good. So I don't know, maybe want to test. I think you've covered this, but do I need a personal account? Then yes, Newell, sorry, is that how you pronounce your name? Sorry if it's not Newell. When you set up an account, the default is that it's a personal account, and then you get the option to switch it in the burger menu. The 3 little lines, you go down to accounts, settings, accounts, and then you choose to switch it to a business account. So yeah, definitely do that. I think that's everything. Just a last thing, there's some great things to remember. I'm conscious that it is 11:31, so we just need to wrap up. And you'll get this presentation, so have a read of those. Instagram is rented turf, just like Facebook. So how are you getting people off of the platform onto your email list or whatever other marketing you have in place? How are you making the most of that? And thanks for listening today. If you think I can help you and you didn't think I was Captain Chaos, then this is how you can work with me. I've got a workshop on the 9th of February. There's only 10 places and 4 have already gone. So there's only 6 places. I haven't put it out to my list yet. So if you want to grab a place, you can. That's basically, I'm going to take you through planning your content for the next couple of months. Or you can book a discovery call if you want to talk about set strategy or ads or outsource management. And thank you so much, Chamber and Business Isle of Man, for having me. And yeah, I hope it's been helpful, and I hope it wasn't too crazy.
Thank you, Kirsty. It was not crazy at all. I honestly don't know how you do it, especially with your little man coming in and challenging you as well. This is our lives now, isn't it? Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Kirsty. We had some great interaction there, and I can see us all on Facebook, Instagram as well, interacting as well. So brilliant. Just before I let you all go, I'm just bringing Phoebe in to quickly talk to you about the funding options that are available. It's definitely worth having a quick listen, and then I'll let you all go, and we will. I will send you a follow-up this afternoon. So Phoebe, over to you.
Thanks, Bex. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Fantastic. And can you see my screen here as well?
Yes, we can see the screen.
That's great. So yes, thanks so much, Bex. If you attended the session on Monday, I'm just going to run through the same scheme that I did then, which is the Business Improvement Scheme, which is one of the funding and support schemes which is offered by the Enterprise Support Team through the Department for Enterprise. So the scheme provides grant funding for businesses who are looking to complete a business improvement project. So it offers 50% towards the cost of the project, up to a maximum of £5,000. You can also engage with technical consultants to support the delivery of your project, and it includes a business advisory service, which is provided by the department. In terms of eligibility, I would recommend you read the full scheme guidelines of the scheme, but as a high-level overview, the key eligibility requirements are that businesses must be registered or incorporated in the Isle of Man. They must also employ workers in the Isle of Man and have no government debts. So in terms of your actual projects, it can be a whole range of disciplines that you can get this funding for. So a few examples are here. So that includes Brexit, a business advisory service, environmental efficiency, information communication technology, information systems, intellectual property protection support, legal advice concerning external investment in business, legislation, quality accreditations, or digital marketing and social media consultancy and websites. And I've caveated these, and I think it's really important to highlight, following Kirsty's whole presentation that she's just done there, that until March 2021, there is increased funding which has been given to this part of the scheme by the Economic Recovery Group, which offers these kind of business improvement projects. So if you're looking to do something in digital marketing, social media, or websites, The increased funding is still 50% of your project, but the total value can be up to £10,000, which is offered by the department. So it's kind of doubling the support that they're able to offer there. So if you are considering doing something in this remit, I would really recommend having a look into the scheme and getting in touch with the team before the 31st of March this year to take advantage of this increased funding. A few kind of keynotes if this is something you're interested in considering. With all schemes of the department, we recommend you must apply before you buy. So if you are considering a project at this stage, I recommend you get in touch with the team now before you go through and complete that project. Grants can also not be paid in advance. So with the project, you must be willing to pay the full fee of it, and then the department will reimburse you that 50% based on your project costs. Businesses who are looking to take part in this scheme must have at least one employee other than the owners of the scheme, the business, sorry. And if you're taking advantage of that increased funding for the digital marketing, social media websites, you must apply before the 31st of March. For full details of the scheme and all the eligibility requirements are available at www.dfe.org/BIS. And that is sort of my little high-level overview of that scheme. If you are interested or you'd like any further information, feel free to get in touch with any member of the team. So you can call us, we're on 687 333, or you can email us at enterprisesupport@gov.im. Or alternatively, if you want to find out more about whether your business is eligible for any of the support schemes offered by the department, you can go through our website inquiry form, which is available at www.gov.im/business inquiry. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Phoebe. And just another really big thank you to Kirsty for putting this workshop on for us online. It was going to be face-to-face, but actually, I think this has got more reach for everyone. Plus, we've got the video now that you can, spend some time going back on and trying out all the tips. So thank you again, Kirsty. Thank you everyone for joining us, and I'll see some of you in the flesh, fingers crossed, at some point in the next few weeks. Bye-bye for now.